Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. Hey, welcome back, friends. Today, we're joined by Kent Edens, a local filmmaker, marketer, and creative force in East Tennessee. Kent's been telling powerful stories through film and digital media, helping businesses and artists share their messages in authentic ways. I'm so excited for you guys to get to know my new friend, Kent, from Elizabethton currently, but he's had quite a journey to get here. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I am excited. I love meeting new people, and this podcast brings people that I would never maybe even come across. And so thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
For being a guest.
It's indeed a pleasure to join you.
Yeah, so let's talk about your journey. What first inspired you to pick up a camera and get into film?
So my father was a coach, and he loved sports, but he also had a passion for film as well.
Okay.
Alas, I got zero interest in the sports, but I must have gotten 1,000-fold in cinema. And I was watching television shows, films, and I recognized literally at age 2 or 3, how they were cutting between things.
Okay.
And my brother was 10 years older.
Yeah.
And I said, how do they do that? And he was telling me how that. So the process behind the scenes and all that stuff just came naturally. I was always fascinated by how the production side of it, but it wasn't until years later that I started learning about the storytelling side of it.
That's cool. Now, did you go to school for film somewhere? Or?
I did. I went to North Carolina School of the Arts.
Okay.
It was part of the first filmmaking class.
Oh, wow.
In 1997.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I graduated in 96 from UT. So we're about
All
the
right.
same, the same age.
Right.
Yeah. So, I guess tell us how you started in Elizabethton and made a little journey. Let's talk about your journey.
Sure. As I said, my father was a teacher. Both parents were teachers. So they were always incredibly supportive. Whatever I wanted to do, didn't make any difference, whether it was in sports or whatever. They were very, very supportive. So I entered. Sadly, my father died when I was 22 years old. But the very next week, a good friend from Winston-Salem said, "Hey, did you know they're opening a film school?" Very next fall I was in.
Nice.
And so I focused on production with a minor in screenwriting. And I didn't touch the editing for a while. After that, I actually moved back here for a short period of time to help a good friend make a film.
Okay.
Of course, it was a horror film. Everybody has to do one of those, I guess. And then I moved straight to Los Angeles and worked on a number of projects. It was mostly just production work, but I did develop a few things. And then my mother was getting a little older, and I decided to move back to East Tennessee, a little closer. I went to Knoxville.
Okay.
And I had no idea that I would end up working for a home shopping network, jewelry. I don't know if I could say the name. It was Jewelry Television, and I was there for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up in the marketing department, and I fell in love with the editing again. And I'm thrilled to be able to edit promos and content, and I'm very happy with that. I've had a very blessed, fun life, creative life, artistic life.
Yeah, that's really cool. So for me and our listeners, do you want to go kind of through production and editing and the back end? Like, what are the different roles that, because there is a ton of stuff that goes into it, right? And I mean, like when you watch a movie, the credits go on for hours. It feels like, because there's so many people involved.
Well, believe it or not, there's a different level depending on the project, how large it is.
Sure.
And it's the same for a marketing campaign as it is for a film. You develop the idea. It could be a screenplay, or it can be just a commercial idea. And you have to build the artwork. You have to design it. You have to write it. And then you have to shoot it. And then comes the editing side, where you end up cutting out so much. And the storytelling is in the development and the editing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said that if you get into filmmaking, you either end up on the production itself where you're painting the palette,
Mm-hmm.
or you're part of the storytelling mechanism. And I love the story. And it took me years to figure out, I'm sidelining, but it's related. It took me years to realize that I was actually a storyteller, but I just happened to fall in love with the medium of film at a very early age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then once the editing occurs, you've got the music to put in. Again, that little level on a smaller scale of a production of promo is the same thing, only a lot more zeros to the budget.
Right.
If you're shooting a
yeah.
multi-million-dollar film. Now you get into the studio system, you got a whole other executive side of things where it goes through too many cooks in the kitchen, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. They're all looking at ROI and what are we going to make on this thing? And
that is correct.
You sure you need that much fire and blowing up Lamborghinis? Those are expensive.
That's exactly right.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you worked on any big films or that we would know?
Oh gosh, not in years.
Gotcha.
I did do some work with Last of the Mohicans,
Ooh,
uncredited.
Yeah.
I actually had a lovely evening. What was the character's name? Magua, which was Wes Studi, a dear friend of mine. I actually dated her for a while.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
She and I used to hang out with Wes Studi. He was a lovely soul. I've
cool.
met countless
people. Yeah. They're just people, right?
They're just people.
They're just people. They're just people and probably want to be treated just like people.
Exactly. Or left alone, too.
Or left alone. Yes, that's probably right. Because a lot of people want to be left alone. That's a good one. So storytelling, you get that honestly, right? We're in the storytelling capital of the world.
That is correct.
Like. Yeah. And so did you feel like were your grandparents storytellers? Were your dad, your parents? Where do you think that
my
came
whole
from?
family, that's a wonderful question, because I look back now and all my family were storytellers.
Yeah.
Because they were just, fluid in telling me all these tales of yesteryear. I was engrossed in what all the different things, and they lived and my father was born in 27. My mother was born in 33. Their parents were born in 1895. It's insane, the history, the experience these people had. So I was always fascinated with the past and the history. And they spun some tales and some yarns.
I think it's a much needed skill that seems to be dying a little bit.
It is.
And it's a skill that I wish I was better at. Do you have any tips on how to craft that skill and tell stories better?
Yeah, never ruin a good story with the truth.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's always hyperbole in anything that you do.
That fish was so big. Yeah. Yeah. But talk to us. Okay, so let's just break it down for me. I'm a sales guy, and I sell homes to people. I actually help people buy homes, right? I don't really sell you anything because I can't force you to buy a house, and I don't want to. I want you to be super excited about your house.
Sure.
However, there is some art of sales in there, and I'm like helping people see how they can make their life in this property.
Well, you have a unique way of going about it. Whereas if I walked into a house, I would be looking at all the history of the house. Whereas you go into a house and you have someone that's looking at purchasing the house, and you're saying you're not looking back,
right?
Predominantly at any of
sometimes
past.
A little bit,
sometimes
like
a little bit,
age of items. And,
however,
right.
You're looking to help those person make their own memories.
Correct. Yeah.
So now, if someone is interested in the history of the house, certainly I would, and that's what
which we've had some super cool houses listed in the past. So yeah.
Sure. A good friend of this is the only anecdote I could tell you. A good friend of mine who's a psychologist, I've known him for years. He'd come over to the house one time, and I'd shown him around. We were watching some flicks, and then we were at a local eatery months later, and he said, "Hey, have you been to Kent's house?" And I said, "No." He says, "Oh, you need to go to Kent's house. It's like a museum, and every item has a story."
Oh.
And I was quite taken by that, and I started thinking about it, and that's correct. There are certain items, even from a handkerchief to a flower to I just collect memories, and I love that people collect memories. These things are very, very important to people.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of anchors you and makes you feel
Anchoring is a key
safe
word.
and comfortable and
That's right.
in a good space. You
Right.
can feel it.
Sure.
There's a lot of chi involved in that probably,
That's
depending
true.
on the
That's
story
true.
or behind it or
Right.
a lot of good energy.
Yeah. My cousin, she's 79 years old, and she's liquidating her house and moving back to Elizabethton.
Oh, cool.
And her house is 150 years old, and she was certainly telling a few little items that occurred in the home and
Mm-hmm.
there was actually a chair in it that was from the Hotel Windsor from here in
Oh
Johnson
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of anyone hanging on to any items like that. So right there's a piece. People love being part of history. They
Sure.
love making their mark.
Yeah.
And I think when you can tell a story and you can pop someone or make them feel like they are part of it, that's a secret.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you guys can't see it unless you're watching on YouTube, but his eyes are alive and he's smiling and he's just loving telling about stories. And so in the story world, we'll stick around in there. What inspires you in that realm?
At the moment, I love documentaries. I was focused on narrative filmmaking for a long time, but funnily enough, documentaries started coming into the foray pretty heavily about 20 years ago because my grandmother vanished for 30 years. And when I was 2 or 3 years old, she returned. And the big question was, where is Blanche? What happened to Blanche? Where was she this whole time? So
30 years.
30 years. And she departed. My grandparents divorced in 1942, which was unheard of back then. And so she dropped her children off at my great-grandparents and proceeded to teach herself stenography, left East Tennessee, and except for about 3 years worth of letters writing back home, she was never heard from again until 1972. To which she said, "Hey, isn't everyone glad to see me?" And my mother was like, "Where have you been for 30 years?" She was tight-lipped as everything. She wrote, I have all of her poetry. I have all of her short stories. And all of them reflect her, if you knew her.
Mm-hmm.
And funnily enough, she had a second family and they found us and after she died. And so there's some intrigue, there's some mystery there. And those are the types of stories that I really enjoy. I also like supernatural as well.
Yeah. I think supernatural stuff is super cool.
Absolutely. I love going on ghost tours and things of that nature. And I'm not really big on the modern day horror films. I'm more on suspense and mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. What medium do you like to tell your stories best through? Mainly the film?
Definitely film. However, I mean, well, just like today, the oral tradition is just stunning to me. Yeah. I was at Bays Mountain last week, and oh my goodness, the lady's name is Hannah Harvey, Dr. Hannah Harvey. She's a storyteller. I was blown away. She did campfire tales for some dear friends of mine at Bays. Stunning. The audience in that little amphitheater, they were quiet. I mean, engrossed in her storytelling. And she told everyone that these were all based on true stories. And after the whole thing was over, she went back and they played little excerpts of interviews that she used to develop these stories. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was stunning.
That's super cool.
Sure. So I would love to, I think I could do that myself. I've got so many anecdotes and fun things.
Yeah. I think storytelling just happened in Jonesboro last week.
That is correct. Yeah.
And I remember going as a kid and just being on the edge of my seat, like when you just kind of get sucked in and the way they present it. And I think that's a craft and an art that is just, it's just really something special. When you find somebody that does it at a high level, you're just like, you can't get enough.
I know. And you have to know how to structure a story and bring it back around, setting the seeds, and then there's the journey. I think every story in screenwriting, there's a 3-act structure. And I think every story is a 3-act structure. It's your setup, then it's the journey, and then it's the resolution, bringing it back
The
around.
crescendo at the end. Yeah. I think it's super cool. Now, growing up in East Tennessee and then traveling to Los Angeles.
Sure, I moved to Los Angeles, but my parents, again, were teachers. So we had summers off, so I've traveled all over.
The place.
I've been to Europe, Australia. I've had a blast.
Did that bring, a lot of people look at East Tennessee. I don't think they do anymore because it's one of the most popular places in the world, but as a little holler, and
right.
Nothing kind of like, nothing good comes out of East Tennessee. Was that hard to overcome when you were in LA?
No, because I was in film school, I was around a lot of people from the industry. So as far as, enjoying certainly a different culture, it's a different type of a bubble, Los Angeles.
Right.
But there was no culture shock for me. Matter of fact, I think I forgot how many years I was in Los Angeles, but I actually had a little bit more culture shock moving back.
Yeah. That's funny.
Not in a derogatory sense at all, but it's just simply different. It's a 180.
Yeah.
Fast pace.
Nonstop, lots of business. So how did you make I know you'd said, I think it was about jewelry. How did you make that jump from filmmaking to more marketing side of it?
So a dear friend of mine that I went to film school with, his name is Kelly. He had started at Jewelry Television, a few years afterwards. And when I moved back, my mom was getting older and I wanted to be back in this area. And so he said, why don't you try here at JTV?
Mm.
And so I started out with the content and the production and things of that nature, but I was not in there very long because they needed a content producer, or it's all the ancillary things that support the live shows. And then I ended up getting absorbed into marketing. And I had never written now my brother's in radio. He could sit there and write a 30-second, get it now,
right,
call now, whatever it is, the call to action. He can do all that stuff.
Right.
It took me forever to get into that affirmation and condensing all that. So I ended up in marketing, and it was producing all of these promos and these events. We would do holiday events. I had to produce the entire.
Give me a for instance, because I don't know what kind of jewelry you're selling.
It's all kinds of jewelry.
Yeah.
It's all different types of gemstones, gold, silver, diamonds. So if the guys would come to me and say, hey, we're going to have a diamond event in a month, you need to research what type of diamonds we're selling, how they came to be, what the specific design is, the artist who designed them, and you have to build basically a brand. It's all about branding.
Sure.
And so we have all these different brands at that network. So it was really fun. It never got old.
Right. Because there's always something new coming in.
Absolutely. And we would do these holiday campaigns. I was always sick to death of the holidays by the time the holidays came, because we would start designing them in July. And then we would actually shoot them in August, edit them in September, and then they'd start running in October.
Oh, so it wasn't like a live thing,
No. So
it was all production.
Certainly the network was live 24/7,
right.
selling the things. But again, my focus was on the promotions and the content which supported the live shows.
Gotcha.
Right.
See, I love learning about this kind of stuff, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, you were like you said, kind of QVC, and I'm look at these ladies on there going, look at this bracelet, and it's got,
sure, yeah,
whatever. But that wasn't it.
Well, I started out with that for about a year, and then they no ego here. They must have found something that they liked, because they said, you need to be over here in the marketing side of things. And I'm just enjoy it all so much.
Yeah, that's super cool. I think They're jobs that you never hear about, and you're like, I didn't even know that there was a marketing person behind the stuff, and
That's true. It's quite a journey
yeah,
in that whole realm.
it is now. Now, are you still in the film industry? What are you doing right now? Like, what are you working on?
Well, when I'm not when I'm not developing a new business in Elizabeth, and I've seemed to be juggling. I haven't dropped any balls yet, but I've got too many projects going on. I'm working on the developing a business there. But as far as production side of things, I've been helping out a group in Bluff City. They started a studio there. So me and my friend, who actually was my director of photography for 20 years at Jewelry
Oh,
Television,
that's cool.
he helped. He and I built a TV studio, green
That's
screen, the lighting and everything. And so they do biblical productions,
That's cool.
and prophecy in the news is what it is. And so we do a news show once a week, and then there's all these like 3 or 4 different teaching segments, rotational segments that they use to um, every week. So I go over and help them do the news segment.
That's
So
cool.
there's that. And then, of course, I mentioned I'm getting ready to do this documentary on my grandmother's disappearance. And I have to fly back to Los Angeles because that's where she ended up.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And the other family's got family there, right?
That's correct. Who are very, very close. There's symbiotic now. They're all the same family. So,
How does that? So you guys all are getting along, and they're not.
oh, wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's neat.
My uncle actually ended up playing the guitar and singing at my mother's funeral.
Oh.
Now you talk about, that journey, that story, flowing back through it. I've got the whole thing structured and ready to get started on that, but I have to go interview them. I have to go documentaries and narrative film and documentaries are 2 different animals.
Sure.
If you're going to write a script, you've got 90 pages, 110 pages, and you've got the whole story, you've got all the characters, they're there, it's on the page. If you're going to do a documentary, you have to do all this research. It's this tremendous mountain of things that you have to pull in, and it has to be whittled down into a story. So
and woven together in just
right.
some way that somebody's going to be interested in watching it. Now, is this just for fun, or is this like you're going to try and put it out there to?
No, I want it to be a series. I think you could probably get 4 to 10 episodes. I really like series now as opposed to feature films because you can there's only so much time you have in a feature film, and they're very similar in the story structure. But one of my favorite series of all time was Breaking Bad, not because of the subject matter, but because of the storyline.
Yeah.
The executive producer of that show knew exactly. He had 8 writers, and he knew exactly how to structure the show. And so it's 55 hours, one cohesive story. How do you get all of that into 2 hours? You don't. So I really like expanded storylines.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are watching more and more series because I think there's more story, like you're saying, to tell. Where would our listeners be able to find this when it comes out, you think? Where do you see it being viewable?
Well, you can do 2 or 3 things now. You can be on a actual network or a Netflix or a Prime Video. Or I want to get it to that level.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's such a universal story. I've had what's another thing related to that story is my mother's relationship with her mother. Hey, you get dropped off, you have abandonment issues. So there's a trickle down effect to that. There's a whole psychology that goes on with this story. And that's another thing that I really think can tap in. I have learned more about some ladies over the last year that have difficulties with their mothers. I hadn't heard of that.
Right.
I thought it was quite unique to my mother and grandmother, but apparently it's not.
Right. Yeah.
And if I can offer some type of, it's not just the story. I want to be able to, I like helping people.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, I think that's what we're put on the planet to,
amen, amen.
and figure out any way to do it. And
That's exactly
so
right.
their emotional healing through
Absolutely.
watching the series, maybe
Yeah,
that would be.
spiritual counseling, anything like that. If you can help someone, oftentimes we repress a lot of things. Sometimes we hold back certain things. We don't express what we need to. And that's the power of film
Mm.
and television to me. Man, it just offers so much to help individuals. I love that stuff.
What, so Breaking Bad, you said, what are you watching currently that you're just like, this is really.
Well, I just watched, oh, this is a little bit macabre. I just watched a documentary on the serial killer, Ed Gein. It was a 4-episode series. And the reason I watched that is because I'm watching a lot of documentaries
On how to.
on how to do this. And it was the first one I'd watched that it included a lot of AI, which were, they were starting to develop, his, whatever happened with him and all of the things that he did. And
That's a dude I haven't heard of.
well, have you ever seen Psycho? Have you familiar with Psycho?
Yeah.
It's Norman Bates, the character
That's
that was
the guy,
actually
Ed
based
Gein.
on Ed Gein.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but a series that I absolutely love, and it's the 5th season's coming back, is Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love that. That works on so many different levels for people my age. Those kids that are my age.
Right. They're our age, right?
Right, correct.
Back in the 70s and 80s.
80s. So you have people being nostalgic for the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You have the storyline, and you have the relationship with those 4 or 5 youngsters. So it works on many, many levels, and it's just amazing.
It's a lot better than Goonies.
Right. Right.
I'll get probably some comments about it. It's way better than the Goonies. You're an idiot.
We screened that at the Bonnicade about a month ago.
Oh, did you?
And more people came to see that. Bonnicade just opened up this last year, and more people came to see that film. That was, I think the capacity of the Bonnicade is 225 seats, and well over half the.
I was going to say, are you turning people away from the Goonies? That's
amazing,
awesome.
Isn't it?
All right, yeah, and you're involved with the Bonnicade. So talk to us. Did it have any damage during the flooding and that kind of thing?
It did not. The Bonnicade has quite a history. It was built in 1927. Some people see that sign. It says 1926. Well,
that's when they started digging.
Correct. Yeah, it was commissioned in 26, but it was actually open on the 4th of July, 1927. The former governor of Tennessee helped to name it.
Nice.
Apparently, Bonnicade was quite a popular name at the time.
Gotcha.
That was John Severe's wife. So with the Watauguns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very local.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was built in 27, and it remained a movie theater until 2012, when the digital age transfer from celluloid to digital kind of the owner at the time could not finance that. So anyway, sadly, it went down, and then ultimately the city ended up with it. And
like unpaid taxes situation.
Well, you know what? It's funny. Yes, that was correct. But funny that you mentioned taxes. I was brought onto the board about 3 or 4 years ago. I guess obviously because of my filmmaking, but it's really cool. It's a multicultural establishment. We're going to be showing films. We just finished a play called The Curious Savage. It's the Bonnicade Community Theater is there. Then we're gearing up for Monster Fest for the next couple of weeks, and then they go into production on another play called. Oh my goodness gracious! Renee's going to kill me because I can't. The greatest Christmas pageant ever.
Oh yeah,
and that's in the best Christmas pageant ever.
That's a great
ever.
Yeah,
and so we have music venues. We're going to have storytelling. And I'm just so pleased to see that it did not go by the wayside.
Right. It's coming back to life. You're bringing it back.
That's right. And it's so good for the community as a whole. I mentioned my dad was huge into sports, and I got none of that. There's everyone everywhere in the Tri-Cities and Carter County, they're really big into sports, but there's also those young artists that need another venue, and I see the Bonnicade as being that key to those that want to do the artistry side of things. Whether it be film, whether it be theater, whether it be music, it's just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
It's a really cool space. And is Red Chili still right beside it?
It certainly is.
I wish they had more reliable hours. It feel like every time I drive through there, I'm like, oh, I want one of those clay pot thingamajiggies they sell. It's so good. It's like pork, and you got a fried egg on top of it, and it's in this clay pot.
I tried that once.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes. Now
I'm like, I'll drive. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're open. Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we'll have to nudge Monet.
Yes, that'd be good. That'd be good. Say, or just, send out something that says, hey, we're open this week.
Exactly.
So you're also helping out, are you not helping out? You are working on some spaces at the Elizabeth and Coffee Company with our friend Frankie.
Yes. Frankie is a dear, dear friend of mine. The coffee company has been around for 25 years. The building, however, has been around for nearly 90. And prior to the coffee company, it was Slagle's, and it was a men's store.
Okay.
Bespoke. The first 30 years, and I knew the family. I knew the Slagles very, very well. Matter of fact, one of my first jobs, I was in junior high. I worked, there was two local downtown businesses that I worked in, R&M Radio and the Slagles, and I just loved the Slagles. So anyway, when they decided to shut it down and retire, it was sold in 97. And John and Pam Huber bought it, and then John and Lisa Bunn developed the coffee company. And then Frankie took over the coffee company in 2018. And that is the flagship, in my opinion, of downtown Elizabeth.
It really is. I mean, like, it's hopping.
Watched Cheers, of course, where everybody knows your name.
Norm.
Yes. What's going on, Mr. Peterson? Let's talk about what's going in, Mr. Peterson. Beer, Woody. The coffee company, everyone goes there. It's loaded in the mornings for just coffee. It's loaded in the afternoons for more coffee. And the menu is fantastic. And so, short story long, I was offered the opportunity to purchase the building. I just happened to ask the right question at the right time, manifesting. I just say it was totally divine.
There you go.
And the best part of it all is my relationship with Frankie. She's just I told her right from the start, this is not going to be a landlord-tenant thing. This is going to be a partnership. And of course, it's taken me a while to develop these work spaces upstairs. I don't like to use the word co-working because there's all these individual offices. There's 12 offices upstairs.
Nice.
And you can do a membership if you want. You just come upstairs, and with your laptop, you've got the full access to high-speed internet. If you decide that you want a standing desk, you can do that. There's as I said, the 12 offices. There's 2 larger offices, and it comes, with all the utilities and the high-speed internet. And I haven't even really, this is actually the first time I've really started talking about it. And the unique thing is it's right over Frankie's Coffee Company.
Right.
So if your business is upstairs, if you're in realty, you come down and you want to chat with someone that's looking for a home.
Grab a cup of coffee and talk about it. I'll meet you for lunch at the coffee.
That's right. If you want to, if you're in insurance, I had an insurance gentleman who wants one in 2026. And he said, good grief, I'm going to sit downstairs and talk to, sell the insurance all day long, then go back upstairs and sign the contract. So it's an atmosphere, and I have yet to find anyone that just doesn't love that.
It's a great concept.
It's a great concept.
We've had Frankie on the podcast. We've had Jose Castillo, who has
I love him.
Spark Plaza. Yeah,
they are wonderful. They are wonderful.
Yeah, and I'll tell you to collaborate with them on how to do it at a high level because they've done it great. And
they have. Matter of fact, I had discussed it with them at one time. There was a little time there where we were talking about maybe joining forces, but I just felt autonomy
Yeah.
going, but they know how to do it,
Yeah.
and that is a lovely spot downtown.
So you've got a few of these things leased out already?
Yes, sir. Yes, I've got
And you're looking for
looking
6
for
or 8
more.
more people to jump in there?
Absolutely.
What do they go for? Do you know?
Sure, there are I have the 5. I want to do it in stages. I have 5 of the 10 8x10 offices. Those are range between $4 to $450 a month.
Well, that's all in.
That's all in. You've got a standing desk. I love standing desks.
I do too.
And furniture. You can put your own stuff in there, make it your own. And then there's the 2 larger offices that are 310 square feet. Those are both rented at the moment, but there's a conference area.
Mm-hmm.
I've rented out. I've already have these individuals that want to have their little gatherings there, events. This one lady called and said she needed to have a birthday party for her daughter. I said, well, certainly we can do that.
Yeah.
And it's good for screenings and all sorts of events. But yeah.
Well, you could have done a bunch of things. Where did that idea come from? I mean, because there are, some extra, just a bunch of rooms up there.
Well, when I first bought the building, I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? The whole building's 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And the upstairs was really not being used. John and Pam had a chronometer shop. So it ended up being a lot of storage. And I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So a dear friend of mine, Chris Range, who actually rented a spot from Jose and Shannon, he said, you might want to think about this. I did not want to do residentials. That's just a whole different ball of wax. And I wanted something that I could help people with,
Mm-hmm.
and that I could also have a lot more free time to go back to my filmmaking.
Right.
And so that was the seed of the idea.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a while to do the infrastructure, and
For sure.
and I really hope I'll be showing a lot of photos and really promoting it here soon. And one thing that I do hope that it does is offer a little bit of pride in some of the other businesses and show off downtown Elizabeth. And it's an untapped gem.
It's a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It really is. Downtown Elizabeth is just beautiful.
It is. And my grandfather, I guess things kind of, what is it, cycle of life. My grandfather had a what's called the Little Grill. He was a restaurateur, and he was down on the second block. So I guess, and my other grandfather, he was a mason, and my great grandfather was a mason. They built a lot of.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think masons are amazing. Seeing unbelievable buildings all over the world, you're just like,
oh, I know.
It's such a craft. It's just an art form. It's just, unbelievable.
Although I do have a few questions for my great grandfather when I meet him someday, and the hereafter, I'm like, what were you thinking when you did this? I'd really love to know what was behind that.
He's like, there's probably some guy telling me how to do it.
Exactly.
I just needed to make the money.
That's right.
Yeah. You sure you want that done that way? Yep. That's how I told you to do it. Just do it the way I told you. Local creative scene and community impact. How would you describe the current creative entrepreneurial energy in East Tennessee? I mean, you're an entrepreneur, it sounds like, at heart.
Like I told you, not realizing that even though I was a filmmaker, that I finally discovered I was a storyteller. I've also got an entrepreneurial side to me as well. I have never seen so many businesses popping up. And they're unique businesses, and they're different style of businesses. Now, I do not want to take away from any individuals who I love antiquing, but you can get saturated with a certain type of business in your downtowns, and you see the whole downtown business opportunities. It's shifted through the ages, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
And I think that's what offers all these different entrepreneurs.
Right. If you've got customers just already there.
Right.
How do we give them what they want?
Exactly. So good grief. I used to spend a lot of time downtown Knoxville.
Mm.
Good grief, from the theater to the bowling alley to all of those things on Market Square,
Old City.
Old City. Oh my, I can't count how many different types of businesses are in Knoxville. And I think I see that in the Tri-Cities as well.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see all the different types of things. There's actually a cigar shop opening up across from the coffee company. And I thought, well, that's unique.
I didn't know that. That's
Yes.
cool. I have to check that out. Is it going to be like a cigar room where you go and...
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Which I think is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just in the last 7 years, I think, Sherry Tenney, she opened up the tap house in right there's a Cheers.
Yes.
And then there's a gentleman who's restoring the building beside the coffee company, and there's a new boutique going in there, a unique boutique. I don't know if that's the name of it, but it's quite interesting. So,
what do you see that maybe we need more of creatively in East Tennessee? Anything that you're like, oh, we don't do enough of this that you've seen in maybe other markets or other areas where you've lived?
I'm biased here. I think a lot more film and podcasts, just like what we're doing here. There's so many ways to museums. Artistically, there's so much history in East Tennessee, and I think all the arts can benefit from that history.
Yeah. And then there's a collaborative synergy when you get a lot of those artists that come together. Like you're saying, maybe there's not a lot of film people that you get to partner with or spin ideas off of or collaborate with.
That's true. Sadly, Hollywood, the great industry of the 20th century, it's struggling. And there's a lot of things, there's a lot of reasons behind that. But I shot a co-produced, and I didn't shoot it myself, but I co-produced and helped edit a pilot for a TV series last spring. Ironically, the gentleman who wrote it is a screenwriter. I met him at the Body Cake actually, and he's had a very varied career from restaurateur to screenwriter, and he absolutely fell in love with East Tennessee. I have to say specifically Elizabeth, and he's lived all over the world, and he had moved from, I think, somewhere in North Carolina, and he was driving through. He said, I'm stopping right here.
That's cool.
Now, if this area attracts someone that's been all over the place, and they're going to just put down roots.
I've helped a lot of people. They're like, we're just driving along and it looked beautiful, so we just decided to stay here.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
Sure.
And then I had somebody the other day say they threw it. I said, how'd you find Johnson City? And they said, well, we threw a dart at the map and drove there. I was like, oh, okay. That's one way to do it. And then I had lots of people move here who said, we've done vast studies on affordability and cost of living and resources, and whether it's mountains and healthcare and just, all the different things. And we just kept narrowing it down, and boom, East Tennessee is where we wanted to be.
That's right.
I was like,
you also have a lot of recreation here. Oh my goodness. Our lakes are just stunning.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ready to move to the lightning round?
Fire away.
Here we go. Favorite local filming or photo location? Where do you like to film most here if you were going to go outdoors?
Roan Mountain.
Roan Mountain. Isn't that beautiful?
You get lost in those gardens.
Yeah.
It's got a very unique...
His eyes are like big. The rhododendron gardens.
The rhododendrons, you go through, it's quite mysterious. Enchanting.
I loved running through there as a kid, and still love seeing it. And it just, I think you made me just kind of desire to go back up there soon. So I'm going to do
I will be going back this weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I love it. Dream project or subject to film?
Oh, that would definitely be the story
The
of
grandmother.
my grandmother.
Grandmother
If
story.
I've always said, if I don't get out of this, if I get to the pearly gates and the good Lord says, I don't do that, and the God's going to like, what?
I told
I
you
told
to do
you,
this.
you had it, you know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Gear or camera you swear by?
Whoa. Gear, I love, I love Final Cut. I just grew up with that, and but I absolutely love Nikons,
Okay. There you go.
and I've had one that I use for stills. And of course, everyone has their own tools that they like to use.
Yeah.
But I love Canons are wonderful, but I love Nikons.
Maybe Nikon will sponsor this podcast.
That's right.
I know the answer to this one, but maybe you can hit the other city. Go to coffee or lunch spot when you're working in downtown Elizabethton, and then we'll hit Johnson City.
That would be, of course, Frankie Bailey's Coffee Company.
Frankie Bailey's Coffee Company. What's number 2 in Elizabethton for you?
Coffee shop?
Yeah.
Or just
go to lunch spot.
Oh, City Market.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
it.
also the Burger Hut.
Oh yeah.
I love the Burger Hut. That's not in downtown. That's right across from the airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burger Hut. I haven't tried that one.
Yeah.
What's the place right there kind of on the corner? If you came out your shop and walked up the street towards the some of those big churches up there, there's a corner dog.
Oh,
it's not the corner
Jay's
dog.
Corner.
Jay's
Oh my goodness
Corner.
gracious.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal.
It looks like it just, opened back in like it came out of the 60s or something. It's so
Well, the building was built in that era, but
it's really cool.
I take my girlfriend's daughter by there all the time. She loves the ice cream there, so we like to go in there, and I have to say I'm quite a connoisseur of fries, and I think their seasoning on their fries surpasses them all.
Really?
I love definitely Jay's
Even beats
Corner.
Pal's fries season. Yeah.
In my opinion, it does.
Okay. I like it.
Sorry, Pals, but it's good. Pals is really good too.
Pal's fries are so good. Local creative business you think deserves more spotlight?
Local creative business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or a local person, maybe, that's creative.
Oh, gosh.
It's kind of underseen. Maybe you could give them a shout out on our podcast.
Goodness gracious. That's I think an entrepreneur that he's right across from me. His name's Scott Bowers. It's the escape room.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is the most ingenious idea. And for it to be in downtown Elizabethton, and he is a film lover like me.
Oh, that's cool.
I think we're about the same age. And anytime we don't know each other that well, but every time we get together, we're always talking about film, and he has all the genre things in there.
Oh yeah.
And what was funny is a friend of mine had given me this old VCR from like 1980.
Nice.
And I didn't know if it worked or not, and I didn't need it, so I took it over to Scott, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I had this model." He went crazy over this VCR.
And he ran to his grandparents and said,
Yeah.
"Do you still have that tub of big old VCR tapes?"
It's exactly right. Yeah. But yeah. And I think the escape room is quite unique.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. My wife is very good at those, and I'm not. Like, I just don't have the patience to try and figure out if you turn this key at this wall and the same one over here.
Sure.
I'm like, let's figure it out and let's get
Right.
out of here. Which is totally against what the whole thing's about. All right. Favorite memory shooting or editing a project here in the Tri-Cities?
Oh, that would be this latest venture that I did. It's called Fish Therapy, and it's about a guy who moves back with his wife, and he's needs to do all this writing, and he's this isolated location. And we're looking for some places to shoot, and he was looking at this one campground, and I said, "Wow, well, okay, I can see you using that. And I looked literally across. This is in Watauga, not in Watauga. I'm sorry, at Siam. And we looked across at the river. It's this beautiful cabin. I mean, it's just picturesque from every angle. And I said, well, why can't we shoot over there? He says, well, I don't know them, but I'll find out. So I put the producer cap on, and I called 2 or 3 friends that were in the community. Who owns that cabin? Oh, I think it's this gentleman who does X, Y, and Z. Okay. I looked him up, I drove out to his business in Piney Flats. I said, hey, would you be interested? And I said, here's the script. Check it out. And we'll see what happens. And I learned later, and he called me back and he said, yeah, you can do that. And his sons have told me, he never lets anyone do that. And it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful cabin. I really think producing is nothing more than just putting out fires and just project management. But that's the type of serendipity that I love.
Like, I'm going to figure this. I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to figure this out.
And I'm a people person, so I like finding people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather like today.
Speaking about finding people, how do people find you online if they want to connect with you?
Well, at the moment, Kent Eden's on Facebook. But as far as the business, my new business, it's called, the name of the workspace, it's called Eden. It's where you begin. And there's no ego. There's no ego. And, my name is Eden's with an S. There really is no ego on that. It just happened to be that way.
It's a nod to the creator.
EdenWorkspaces.com.
Okay.
And my number's on there. If you're interested in any type of space, you can do that. You can also find me loitering around the Bonnie Kate, doing that as well.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
It's indeed a pleasure.
Anything we forgot to cover that you'd like I forgot to ask you about?
Goodness gracious, that was you're talking
I feel
about
like we kind of covered a lot. Large landscape.
Talking about a lightning round. I think the whole thing was a lightning round.
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah, just kept hammering you with questions. But I have really enjoyed getting to hang out with you. And for our listeners, if you'd like to see more of Kent's work or learn more about the coffee company project he's working on, you can go online and find him there, or go on Facebook and friend him. He'll probably friend you right back. And again, thank you for helping out our region and calling it home and showcasing it. I'm excited to hear about how your grandmother's documentary project turns out.
Much. And East Tennessee it's wonderful to be back. Yeah. I always knew I would return.
Yeah,
and it hasn't disappointed.
And we're glad you're here, and looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. And hopefully we can have you back on sometime.
Thank you very much. More to come.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening, and thank you for coming again. It's just a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you.